Hi everyone, I'm doing another video on Brexit, which means that I'm going to get abuse from both sides. It always happens. Whenever I do a video on Brexit, people abuse me from both Remainers and Brexiteers. They both abuse me. It's just inevitable. So I'm going to do this video and just try and ignore the comments to it. So Sadiq Khan has called for a second Brexit referendum. This morning on the Andrew Marr show, he called for it officially. He's joining a long list of MPs now who are calling and backing a second Brexit referendum. I'm just going to go to this article in Reuters about it, because they actually pointed out just the. I'll skip over the first paragraph, just the next three there. May has repeatedly ruled out a second referendum. Remember, she also repeatedly ruled out a general election, but we still had one of those. She says members of parliament will get to vote on whether to accept any final deal. So basically the choice that she's giving the people of the country is tough shit. We say what the deal is going to be. And if the members of parliament don't agree with this deal, then the other option we've got is a no deal, and we leave with a no deal. That's her stance. Just bear that in mind. The backing of Khan, a member of the main opposition Labour Party, for a second referendum will put more pressure on Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn to change his opposition to the idea when the party meets for its annual conference in a week's time. A second referendum, dubbed a people's vote by its proponents, primarily the Independent newspaper, is not Labour Party policy, although finance spokesman John McDonnell said last month no option should be off the table. So that's John McDonnell saying no option should be off the table. There's Paul Mason today on Twitter. There's plenty of people saying this, so I could have plenty of people noticing this. I understand that of 272 motions received for Labour conference, 150 on Brexit, including more than 100 calling for a general election second referendum. Don't know how much weight there is to that, but there's quite a few people saying things very similar, that over a third of all the motions being put forward next week at the Labour Party conference are going to be surrounding calling for a second referendum / general election. The feeling is that if Jeremy Corbyn calls for a second referendum, there'll be a snowball effect and a domino effect, which leads to Theresa May losing her majority due to pressure from the Tory. I keep calling them rebels. There's nothing rebellious about them. But she'll lose her seat, and we'll get a second. The second referendum will be tied into a general election. That's pretty much what people are saying. I happen to think that there's some weight in that. Now, I know I'm going to get abused for this video, because I always do on a Brexit video, and it gets emotions run high, shall we say. My position on Brexit hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in 2 years. I've said this before. I thought the in-out referendum was stupid. I thought the only reason we had that referendum was because David Cameron wanted to keep his power. He wanted to keep his premiership. He wanted the Tories to take full control of the country. That's the reason he backed a second referendum, to appease the people in UKIP that had left his party because they were anti-EU. We voted leave, though, so he buggered off. That's David Cameron for you. Worst Prime Minister in my lifetime, certainly, in my opinion. Now, what I said at the time was, and this is true to this day, I said you can't have an in-out referendum without defining what out is. And here's where I start getting abused. People say, we know what we voted for. We know what out was. Really, do you? Is out what Theresa May is trying to get with the EU, kicking the can down the road and trying to get the softest of softest marshmallowy Brexits possible? Trying to get certain movement of people in negotiation for certain financial services being accepted and blah, 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 and having 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and having certain rules we've got to abide by, and then having no say in what the rules, in the making of the rules. Is that what you voted for? I highly doubt it. So, with regards to we knew what out meant, you may have done, but it made no difference to the people, to the Tories. They didn't care. Without defining what out is, they're leaving the door wide open for a second referendum, which is why I said at the time, if we vote to leave, at least one referendum is inevitable. I said there'd possibly be more, although at this point I think one more referendum is basically that's going to where it will stop, and I think it will be a case of whatever deal is on the table as an option, or no deal, or Remain. Personally, I don't think Remain should be on that ballot. Personally, I think we had that ballot already. But hey, what I say is not going to make any difference to what the government are going to do, are they? This is why. This is another reason why I thought it's inevitable we're going to have a second referendum. Look at that. Maastricht Treaty, Nice Treaty, EU Constitution in both 2000 in France and Netherlands, Lisbon Treaty, Euro bailout. Whenever there is a vote from an EU member state that goes against what the EU want, it's either ignored or the people are made to vote again. Do you see? It's inevitable that this is going to happen, whether you like it or not. I truly think that a second referendum is inevitable. Just wanted to do a video updating everybody on this. I'm pretty sure that I know that people aren't going to be happy with Sadiq Khan. I'm pretty sure that I know that people aren't going to be happy with me for even making this video and explaining things, which is all really I'm doing. But I do hope that at least one or two people get a better sense that it really does look like that this is going to happen now, and a second referendum is going to happen, whether they like it or not. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and click the bell below. Independent media platforms like mine are being censored by giant media such as Facebook and Google, so we rely on you, our audience, to share our work and spread the word. If you can, please support us on Patreon. You can do it on my channel for as little as $1 a month, and every bit helps. We cannot do this without your support. Thanks very much for your support. It's really appreciated. Until next time, peace and take care.